Good afternoon from Marie at Missy M Creations on a fine bank holiday Monday in the UK. So I'm kind of thinking you're all going to be enjoying the garden and the outside. So I'm bringing some plants to the inside. So let's see, let me just get myself on my tablet. If you do join me live, say hi, and if you watch on catch up, or if you're watching this on YouTube, please do let me know what you think to the cards I have made. So I've done a bit of pre-prep. I love these new Picture This dies. So you have a oblong and a circle. And what we end up with, this is the Designer Series paper from, well, the stamp set is Plentiful Plants. Got a feeling the paper will be called something else. Bloom where you've planted, and one of them has this brick, so I couldn't resist using that die to cut that out. No idea what's going to happen with that at the moment, but we're playing with all my new things. And then the circular one cuts out this, so again I use the other brick wall, and then I've got these other bits, so keep those bits as well. So we've got that. One of the papers has this lovely succulent, can't remember what it's called right now, but I also absolutely love Biggest Wish. So you get the sentiment in large letters and then the same sentiment in smaller letters. So I thought we could do a bit of a combination on that. So we've got that to play with as well. Might start there actually. So then I thought we could also perhaps start with some simple cards and then flow through to the more complicated. So colour wise on the papers, hi Kim. Hope you're well. We have Evening Evergreen, which is one of the new in colours. Garden Green, Just Jade, which is one of the 20 to 2022 in colours. Grey Granite, Cinnamon Cider, which is along with Just Jade as an in colour, and Cajun Craze. I've also pulled out the papers in the same colours as those inks. So that gives me the security in knowing that where I've pulled out one of each of the sheets, that all my colours coordinate, because the colours in the sheet are the same as my papers and my inks. There's so much you can do with this suite. I love this leaf as well. So let's just see what happens. So I think with this one, what might be quite nice is to make a card base in Evening Evergreen and maybe using Just Jade as a base layer. Have I got a... I keep all my scraps in small envelopes so that... Oh no, that won't work. That's not big enough. It keeps them nice and together. Oh, that might be wide enough. Just thinking that might make a rather nice little card with the two inks there. So let's just start with that one. I'm going to do it in a portrait card, so I'm going to cut on the short side at 10.5, so that's a cut, and then I'm going to score at 14.9. So there's my card base. So my next layer needs to be 10 in width. So I'm hoping that, oh, just like I planned it, by, oh no, 14.4. So that just needs a little sliver taking off. So I've gone 1/2 centimetre smaller on that base, and then on this paper I will need to sliver off another 1/2 centimetre. So I'm going to take it from that patterned piece at the top and from this side. Then my layers all match together. So we're going to pop the birthday on a block, and I'm going to stamp the birthday in just jade. What I rather like is then that the smaller one goes in the darker ink. So inking up that birthday, and I'm going to pop that as far across as I can without hitting that so that it's not that close to there. So I've gone far across. Oh, stuck my finger in that. So what fabulous weather we've had for a UK bank holiday. What a rarity that is. Sunshine. We had a party yesterday and just had the garden full of friends and laughter and chatter. So nice. Just feels a little bit more normal. So that happy then, I'm using the Evening Evergreen, same colour as my card base, and I'm going to put that partially over that birthday. With any luck, I'm in screen. Let's just lift it up slightly. So I'm going to put it on a slightly jaunty angle, and I'm going to put it about there. Oh, and doesn't it make us feel better when the sun comes out? So we've got a little happy birthday there, and then I think all that potentially needs is a few bits of bling. So let's just get that taped into its layers. Oh, oh no. Husband keeps borrowing my... There we go. Anybody else get a husband that nicks all their tapes? It was a little job that just needs a bit of double-sided tape for. So I'm just going to centralise that onto the Just Jade. Bit of tape around the edges, and actually, oh, somewhere I got out a bit of... and again centralise that onto the Evening Evergreen, and we have a beautifully simple card just from using that. And I think what we need is maybe a little, I'm going to put a couple of the Evening Evergreen embellishments, just like that. Simple but effective. So the paper comes with this coming from either side, so you've got that white bit in the middle. So yeah, I literally just cut it so that it would pop that embellishment in. So there's number one. Should we see what we're going to do with this brick wall? What I thought was, so we're all different as crafters, but for me, I do like to get a whole load of bits kind of stamped up and die cut, so that if I am suddenly overcome with the need to do some crafting, I've kind of done the complicated bit. So that, I think that's what's in my brain. I love this sort of macrame style holder as well. And never forget, she says, not being 100% sure where her catalogue is, I really need to learn to keep a tidier craft room, I think. I don't know when that will start happening, but it might one day, you never know. One day I'll just be uber organised and shock everybody because I've got my catalogue handy, and I can find just about every other catalogue but mine. Oh, look, it's under there. So if we find this suite in the catalogue, which is somewhere here. We could use the index, but why would we want to do that? Maybe we will. Make life easier. Plentiful Plants, page 81. Oh, wasn't quite, it's sort of in the middle there. So, yeah, so this is the Bloom Where You're Planted suite. So you get these background pieces as well. But never forget that the catalogue gives us all sorts of inspiration as well. So always use the catalogue. No, the dies, all these are cut from dies, and the dies also match this. You can cut that out from the designer series paper, that one and that one. You would need to fussy cut these, that one. So yeah, those three match the dies, which I love as well. Having that, oh, actually, I can fussy cut some of those. I might. Thank you for reminding me. Look, I can use a combination. So, should we put that on a cinnamon cider card base? That might be quite nice, mightn't it? Should we do that and then, or should we do it on a white card? Should we do it on a white one? Cinnamon cider, white. No, I think white. With any luck, I've got a white one handy. But I think these Picture This dies are extremely easy to miss. And what I'm thinking is if I put that on dimensionals, I could then, and actually, yes, I am going to use dimensionals because I want to feed through bits. I mean, and look at this beautiful paper. The papers are gorgeous. All I've got to, there we go. Knew my dimensionals were somewhere. So I'm going to pop some. So yes, I haven't done any fussy cutting. Hi Tracy, how are you? Looks like you had a fab day out yesterday. Was it yesterday? You and Lisa see Joe's daughter in an event. So the Picture This dies, which are very hidden in the catalogue, or the this suite. Because the reason I loved this suite was it was something completely different from anything else that I've got in my armoury. And actually, I completely missed the Picture This dies until I saw somebody else doing something and thought, what are they? Yeah, as I say, I love the plants because it's something so different. So what I've done by using the dimensionals is I've got a kind of little gap that I can pop those plants down. So I'm thinking we can just create like a little garden. And that can sort of trail between. And this one, you know, I have a weird obsession with the designers at Stampin' Up, but I don't know whether this is more raised in the stamp, but there's two pieces at the front that most definitely are more distinctive than but my die lining up was not as perfect as it could have been, so I'm going to trim off some of that extra white. So don't panic if you don't do a perfect die cut, just trim it so that it's we're all human. But I'm thinking we could just do some layering up like that. Oh, pop that behind there. Right, so I am going to put the one on the bottom with, so I'm hoping some seal will go, so we just want to put a little bit of tape on each of those leaves. I'll put that low down, have a little bit poking over there. We'll pop that underneath there. Might use tape on that one as well. Just think this has so many combinations. That you can do with it, and this really just shows that all our, let's have that one going up there, Stampin' Up products can be mixed and matched. Mixed and matched, is that correct? You can mix and match all our Stampin' Up products. That's a better sentence, isn't it? There we go. You see, we did have a party yesterday, so I did wake this morning a little bit delicate. But so nice to have friends over. I think that one's gonna trail over a little bit. So as I say, this is kind of why I go through a little session of stamping. I mean, you know, I do tend to, whenever I get a new set, just stamp all the images just so that you get a good idea of what they stamp like and look like. Actually, that might be quite nice. How about layering? So that one I've stamped, that one I've cut from the designer series paper. So the other thought I did have is there's the sentiments in the set are kind of around thank yous. A little note with biggest thanks. You were there and I'm very grateful. Thank you to a dear friend. Love you. You touched my heart and so very much. So you could do a little combo. Actually, what I'm thinking, we could put a little note. Oh, let's do that. A little note with the biggest wish. And I think, oh, might stamp that in cinnamon cider. I'm going to stamp that centrally in there. Shut my ink pad because I'm having a sort of stick your fingers in every ink pad possible sort of day today. then might just have that one coming over like that. Then I've got everything. Should I have everything over to the right hand side, or should I have some on? See, it's just so many decisions. So that one was, yeah, so that's the same image. That one's from the designer series paper. That's the stamped image. Oh, haven't included. So these are from the designer series paper as well. Obviously they match that. Oh, actually that's rather nice, isn't it? So I think as well there's a point where you've gone too far. You've got to, some of it is to know when to stop. So I might just pop that one onto, I might pop a dimensional under that leaf so that it stays erased, and glue the other ones down. Actually, for ease, well, she says it's, oh, there we go. Nearly lost me scissors then. I've forgotten which one I was sticking down there. So this is our adhesive foam, which I just find quite an easy way, because I can cut it to whatever size I want to that fits. So that just gives me a little bit over there. It's slightly thicker as well, so sometimes it just gives you that extra bit of lift. And then I'm going to dab a little bit of glue onto these leaves where they're going to stick. So the important one is I want my dimensional to stick first, then those two pieces just need to hold those down so they stick first. Then, oh, excuse me, what I might just do is add a little embellishment in that corner. Just need to hold it down until that's glued into place. Stay. So yeah, so much fun can be had with the sweet and the picture this. So I just needed a quick drink. So I did start by saying I was going to do a bit of simple stamping, which I haven't done yet because I've got all carried away and excited. So I'm going to take a bit of basic white, I'm going to cut that to 1.5 centimetres smaller than what my card base will be, to allow me some layers to play with. And this is a photopolymer stamp set. So we've just got pots. Ooh, right, so pots. Let's go cinnamon cider for this. So I'm just going to stamp. I'm actually stamped the whole thing, but then I'm adding a little bit of extra ink around the edge, just to give that pot that little bit of extra texture. Then because it's photopolymer, you can see exactly where you're stamping. So let's go garden green for that. As I say, this, I mean, you can see this stamp itself as those two, there's two in the foreground that just come up a little bit darker. So I can just line that up so that my plants are coming out of the pot. And I have, I did that in garden green, however, just stamp it off a little bit. And then I've got the pot with the handles. That should we do that in Cajun Craze. Not a colour I use very much, so this may well needs re-inking, I think. Yes, I think that's not gonna, no. That needs re-inking, so we'll put our Cajun Craze to one side for now and do it in cinnamon cider. And no, I'm not going to use that one. In Evening Evergreen, let's do a leaf, and again, because it's photopolymer, we can line up so that we know that leaf is coming exactly out of the pot. We do also have that one. Not sure if it grows up or down. Or we could use one of our leaves that we've you can also die cut the pots. The pots, there is one of the sheets that has the pots in, so oh, actually what we could do is use perhaps that. Still not quite managed the simple stamping, have I? I'm going to put that on some dimensionals. That's the problem with my brain going off on a tangent. So again, oh actually just, if you don't have adhesive sheets and your dimensionals are slightly too big, obviously you can cut these in half as well. If you're doing a darker project, they come in black as well. White is fine for this project. Should have that. And then, oh, might go back to, I've lost my stamp set. How about Hello Friend? So we could have a hello there, and nope, that says thanks. Pick out the right one. So I'm going to do the friend in the Evening Evergreen. Should we do Garden Green and Evening Evergreen and see how that looks? You're trying to help me out there with the doing what I said I was going to do. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I start with one intention and then other things happen. Especially, I mean, this is literally the first time I've played with the set. So the other thing you have to do is get your friend the right way up. Nearly had the friend the wrong way up. So hopefully that's going to be a dark enough contrast. Again, I do like it on a jaunty little angle. Obviously, if a jaunty angle offends, then you can put it straight. Covers up a myriad of sins, I think, if you can pop it on a jaunty angle. Saves the lining up malarkey. So cinnamon cider and garden green. Oh, we could. It means covering up a lot of the beautiful paper, but if I can find the one I'm looking for, there's a fabulous one. Oh, how wide is that bit? Oh, 10, oh yes. So I actually think we could do that on a garden green card. This paper is, it's a shame to cover it all up, but I think if I leave that so that I've got a bigger border than I normally would do with We Can See It. So this needs to be 10 by 14.4, so it's a centimetre less than our card base. Okay, I've done a, oops, nearly cut that instead of done the card in what I would call portrait. So you do see a little bit more of that. If I might even just cut a smidge off that side to see a little bit more. So I'm going to take a ½ centimetre off the top just to show more of that designer series paper because it's rather lovely. And you've definitely needs chopping up and using. It's definitely not one to admire from a distance. Somebody else. Feel the love and share. So I've taken a ½ centimetre off, so as you can see I'm just showing more of that designer series paper. So again, we just need to glue all that together. If you weren't planning on posting it, you could, well, actually if you were planning on posting it, you can use the extra dimensionals. You just have to know the commitment that you're making to the extra postage. Oh, lost me. Bit of wriggle room there. So you could pop that on dimension. I might do that actually. And because it is a card base, I'm not going to stick the whole. I am going to use the foam sheet because I can give a more solid edge by popping that down either side. I've never ever actually worked out which is more cost effective to use, but that will just give a slightly more solid edge. Ooh. Couldn't have done that if I tried. There we go. As I say, it's slightly thicker than standard dimensionals. So, oh, I must use this. Not sure how. We could we use it on our brick wall and layer up, so we have a pot we cut earlier, so we could have fixed that. What I did do when I before I die cut these, I put on adhesive sheet, so it means that that is in effect a self-adhesive piece. So I could put a pot behind it and some sort of leafage that could dangle, and then we could have other leafage coming out. If we put that on a grey granite background, so it's got that kind of brick wall effect again. So I'm going to cut that grey granite probably 1/2 centimetre. Let's measure what I did. So I cut that brick wall piece to, yeah, that's 10 by 14.4, yes, 14.4. So if I cut my grey granite the same, I should try measuring the width, shouldn't I, when I do that? Oh, dear, 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 dear. So your first plays, you get warts and all. So we could have a few things popping out from some of those areas, and then have, so you can see I can peel off that backing. Trust me, it makes life a lot easier. I, for one, wouldn't have the patience to attach glue, I think, to that. So then I just need to line that up so the pot is even within. I might have a little bit that needs trimming off, maybe on that side, just a little tiny bit. I don't know that my mum ever did have. I'm going to use Evening Evergreen for all of this. Oh, actually I might stick a, so you can see I can get a bit obsessed with all the, I'm not sure that works. That's what I am going to, I'll stick with my original idea, shan't I? But you can see how I've now self-adhesed those bits. It gives me a bigger gluing area, so it makes life an awful lot easier. But I think if that dingly dangled down, maybe use an embellishment to make it look like it's sort of attached somehow, or even just maybe a straight line. Now that's interesting, isn't it? What do they do in the catalogue when they use it? Page, no, it wasn't 88, 80 something. Oh yeah, see, they don't do anything. Now, I have got these backgrounds and haven't even got those out, have I? Yeah, they don't do anything, so... This will be fussy cut. So many ideas. So yeah, I like to kind of let my brain go, and then if it comes to a standstill, we've always got inspiration from the catalogue. I'm going to use one of those. Should find out what that's called, shouldn't I? I'm sure it's Pearl something or other. I do want it to appear like it's coming out from there. And then, no. You can see why I like to cut up lots of bits. Actually, that probably makes more sense to come out of the smaller one. And then that one can come out of the bigger one, out to the side slightly. And then we could have a little oh. Look, we've got a thank you and a so very much. So thank you so very much. Look at that. Right, now we've just got to decide. I quite like putting that on the dimensionals because it gives me the lift. Was I using that bit or not? Don't know. So see, it's just beautiful, that. I will use these dimensionals. You can see if you're using dimensionals, you do have to add a fair few to make sure that it does stick down. Perhaps when I'm sitting wondering what to do one day, I might work out the cost of dimensionals versus adhesive foam and cutting it up to your desired. The other benefit of adhesive foam is you've only got one backing to take off. I've got to take all the backings off now, my little bits of dimensional. So I don't think it matters which way up, but I do need to make sure that just lines up with the grey granite underneath. So I'm going to pop these ones in. Oh, I probably did do it the other way up, didn't I? That's okay, it's not the end of the world. Just relay it out because I want to have thank you on a little banner. Let's get the... So yes, that's the die sets. I've not yet worked out what that one does. That's another little leaf piece. So this is also one of the new sets where the stamps are all on the inside of the stamp set. So thank you so very much. So I'm thinking on a little banner, the thank you can fit there, and so very much is down the bottom there, just on a simple white banner. Focused on this evening evergreen is such a fantastic, it's a very dark green, but it is going to be fantastic for Christmas and anything leafy and green essentially. like carnage on my desk now. But yeah, when I start with a new set, it's pretty much I pulled out all the colours from the designer series paper, picked all the inks and papers, and then you can just craft away. So I'm just doing these as simple little banners across, but you can see the depth of that green. Yes, and the soft succulent goes so well, doesn't it? Could actually, so these, just had another thought. Oh, it's dangerous, isn't it? The only thing is I've got to work out which one may have come from. Oh, how about that bit? Did that bit come from there? No. Oh, maybe it did, but it's that way up. What I sort of thought was, yes, if I stuck that down, get a little, I just put it in there. I don't know how I'm going to get it out now. Full of good ideas. Hey, there we go. I'm going to use wet glue to give myself a bit of wriggle room. Because then I can sort of pop it in the hole and then line it up, but it's flat on the card as opposed to it being the dimensionals. So that is going to go there. So again, say it's got the adhesive sheet, but I've now got a bigger background to glue. I don't have the patience to glue all those little pieces. Just trying to keep it glued onto that top layer. And I will see those slightly raised, so I'm going to put those on. I'm going to put some little bits, little scraps of foam sheet in those centre pieces. Might need a little bit more. Now I've lost my scissors, there we go. As I say, literally this foam sheet you just cut up to the size that you require. So you just keep going and going until you've got too small a bit to justify using. But I'm popping that stalk behind, and then that's just stuck with those dimensionals. That I think I might just pop a bit of wet glue in the middle. Just so it sticks in that middle. Just going to keep my finger on that for a little bit. I'm sure these are something pearls, but for the life of me I can't think what they are called. I think that would benefit from a bit of, oh yeah, almost like I planned that. So we pop that down, keep it on a slight angle. Then all I need to do with these sentiments is I'm going to use my trimmer to trim them into a square, and then I might just round the edges off. Could use one of our new tag punches if you wanted to. I think I might want that slightly shorter. Probably do that with scissors rather than... I'll do that with scissors as well. New trimmer's brilliant because it does hold, kind of grips the paper, but only when it's a certain size. So I'm literally, hopefully, cutting this straight. We live in hope. But also, if you don't think it is, you could just mask it slightly by tucking it behind something. Then I just want that slightly shorter. Oops, daisy. Just going to bring that, because I've got to put that on a card base, so I'm hoping that I'm going to put it on a... I'm going to put a little mini dimensional... Have I got a mini dimensional handy? I do. Nope. Mini dimensional behind that bit, and a little bit of glue on the other end. Just make sure you've done it the right way round, so that it's taking into account the change. So I'm going to, if I tuck it behind, it will just mask if it's not quite flat. So that end's just gluing onto the surface, that's held with a dimensional. And oh, should we use the other half of that bit of evening evergreen? Holding that. I'm going to pop it onto a cut. What I don't want is that sentiment going too far off. Yes, that's fine. So I'm going to pop that onto... I'm going to use a bit of wet glue. Just gives me a bit of wriggle room. In case I don't quite put it on straight. Fingers crossed. We just about managed that. And then, so that leaf is slightly hanging over, so I can trim that, otherwise it won't fit in its envelope. And of course we shouldn't have any naked envelopes, so what I should also do, that looks like it needs a little bit more trimming off there. And this one actually I'm going to use my corner punch just to round off two of those corners. I'll do the opposites. And position it so that it sort of lines up with the edge of that card here, and then it's just tucking up against that macrame, and sort of thinking about just where the glue is at either end. Again, glue gives us a little bit of forgiveness. I'm just going to make sure that lines up straight there. And hey presto. Oh, maybe it just needs some... Actually, what would be quite nice is some champagne. Sort of picks up on the... Just dot a few about. Not sure that is quite right, actually. Maybe we can try some of the new clear. So these come as dots, teardrops, and diamonds. How can a girl forget diamonds? Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. That's a sad state of affairs, isn't it? So I'm just going to add those. So they just add a little bit of subtle, almost something that people wouldn't see in the first instance. But you can see. Such a nice clear. So there we go. First play. Well, with a few things there. My bloom where they're planted sweet. Just get my stamps out of the way. All my die cut bits. So my die cut bits that I haven't used, I just store in the box with the set. So that's the Designer Series paper with the Biggest Wishes stamp. Then we went for our, oh, that might just, no, it's okay. Brick wall using the Picture This die. So this is the Picture This, and as I say, they're easily missed in the catalogue because you can't quite imagine what you do with them. But oh, put that the right way up. So I've actually cut that one on a slight angle, so it's a, you know, you don't have to put it on straight. Then obviously you do get all the bits, so we make sure we keep those. And then we've got this lovely sort of jungle background. Yeah, I'm liking that brick wall like that. It's just a little bit different, isn't it? So yeah, so four cards. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what you can do with that set. And if you do catch up on catch up, then please do say hi. Thank you for those that were able to join me today on a bank holiday Monday, and I look forward to seeing you later in the week. So thank you, stay safe, have a good day, bye bye.